Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video, doing something a little bit different. I don't have a game capture, so I can't capture any gameplay of these games right now. Uh, I would love to. I really would love to. But we'll see. We'll see. I still haven't made any decisions on whether or not I'm going to do that. But I did want to talk about these games, man. Hopefully this isn't a long video, but sometimes I can get long-winded. But I wanted to, really kind of share my experience. For example, this game right here, Smackdown Shut Your Mouth. I've never played this before until now. I absolutely love it. Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. I remember playing a little bit, but as I said in a previous video, I missed out on from Smackdown Just Bring It through Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. I missed those games. At the time, I was mostly playing No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000. Then I got an Xbox when that came out. My brother had the PlayStation 2, but my brother, he games like and I was the same way. My brother is mostly a sports video game player. When my brother plays video games, he plays, Resident Evil. And then it was always NBA Live or NBA 2K or Madden. And that was it with him. And we shared a room. So, in the past, like I mentioned, the first couple SmackDown games I got, and I just played it on his PlayStation, right? The PlayStation 1. But I had my own thing, so I was mostly just playing my own game. So it's like I really wasn't even checking for SmackDown Just Bring It or SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain because I had great wrestling games for the Nintendo. So the Nintendo 64. So it was like, I didn't really start suffering until the Xbox. Because the Xbox didn't have good wrestling games. Sorry for the Xbox fans out there, but they didn't. It was dreadful. I love the Xbox console. Don't get me wrong. But wrestling game wise, it was just like, ugh. So I remember when I finally got a PS2, when my brother moved out, I finally got a PS2. And I ended up getting SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. I actually missed out on the first SmackDown vs. Raw, but I did play 2006. Or no, maybe I did get this one. But I did recently get it again. But I think it was the first. I think I did get the first SmackDown vs. Raw. And then after, when that came out, I got 2006. But anyways, I missed out on these games, man. And I do love SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I do have Here Comes the Pain coming, and I know that I'm going to love that because I absolutely love Shut Your Mouth. Love it. I mean, everything that's in that game is like chef's kiss. Like, seriously, the speed, it just feels so good to play. And then all of the features that are inside of it, and it was made on the PlayStation 2 back in like 2001, because I think the game came out in 2002. And it has so much in it, and it has more in it than WWE 2K and AEW Fight Forever. And I've made several videos on my channel. I've made videos talking about 2K and how I found my appreciation for 2K after playing essentially my first run through of AEW Fight Forever. I was like, wow. I was like, maybe I should be more grateful for what 2K gives us. And in comparison to AEW, yeah, WWE 2K feels like a great game in comparison. But then it was like, okay, after I'm playing 2K for a while, and I'm enjoying it. I was loving doing those videos for you guys, the universe mode videos. I was loving it. However, it got to that point where it was like, you know what? I'm not having fun anymore because of the gameplay. Like, all of the things that I get sick of with 2K just started coming back to haunt me. And it has to do with universe mode. We're still so limited when it comes to universe mode. Superstar mode is not what it should be. The gameplay is not 100% there. Now, I have said in the past, if 2K gave us the game modes that these older games gave us, like a season mode where you get branching storylines and you get multiple storylines depending on who you play through or how many times you play through it, you get different stuff every time. I wouldn't mind the gameplay as much because I don't necessarily hate the gameplay to 2K. It's just not what we would get with the old school games. Simulation, 100% simulation is just not my style. It's really just not my style. I think about, like, even with the NBA 2K series, for so many years I loved NBA 2K. I mean, literally, I bought last year's. I just didn't. I kind of cut myself off. This is the end point with 24. I said, nah. I did do the 10-hour trial, so I played it, but I'm not about to buy it. But NBA 2K series has always been a simulation experience, but they still had it, like, I guess you would say, video gamey enough to where it still had its fun factor. It wasn't so realistic that it wasn't fun to play anymore. It's gotten to that point for a multitude of reasons, but it's gotten to that point for me. And so, like, when I play a wrestling game, growing up in the era that I grew up in, and for anybody else who grew up in the era with me, we already know what we experienced in the past with fast-paced wrestling games. Wrestling games that when you did a move, they did the move fast, and things didn't happen at a crawl. You know what I'm saying? And over the years, games did start to slow down. Like this SmackDown versus Raw game is a lot slower than SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. But it's still way faster than what you get in WWE 2K. SmackDown versus Raw 2006, slower, just a little, still fast, but it's slowed down. Like year after year, they kind of slowed it down. Like 2000, I want to say SmackDown versus Raw 2009 is when they really, really slowed down the pace. But it's still not as slow as what 2K is. And 2K has sped up its gameplay over the years. But when you play 2K now and you play these old games, you really do feel the speed difference. And I guess I've just always been that type of gamer where I appreciate and enjoy a mix between arcade and simulation, right? So here's what I mean by that for me when I talk about simulation and arcade. I don't necessarily want over the top unless that's what you're selling me, because I am somebody who still owns WrestleMania arcade game. I love it. Razor Ramon's arms turn into razors. Like, I love that because that's the selling point to that game. But in terms of like wanting simulation and a mix between arcade, what you want to do is you want to have the gameplay be fast. You want to have it be extremely responsive, right? You want the animations to look nice. But then at the same time, with the sped up gameplay, you want what you see on TV. You know what I mean? Like the arena is looking good, the entrance is looking good, commentary, the atmosphere, the crowd atmosphere, everything about and I'm pretty much talking about SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. Everything about SmackDown Shut Your Mouth is just so good. The atmosphere, all of the signs being held up in the crowd. By the way, I'm playing this. I don't have an emulation or anything like that. Not using that. I'm straight up playing with my PS2. I got a PS2 to HDMI hookup. And because, newer TVs don't have the AV cables. I got to say, SmackDown Shut Your Mouth actually looks better than SmackDown vs. Raw. SmackDown vs. Raw, the player models and everything is a little more detailed, but it's a darker game. Like the colors and everything are a lot darker. So it's like the ring and everything, to me, like a lot of the stuff actually looks better on SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. I know that's weird. I might be alone on that one, but that's just my opinion. But I'm playing with The Rock and I'm playing season mode. And the one thing that I really noticed immediately was, and this is something that 2K needs to do, it feels like you're using The Rock. When you're playing with Stone Cold, it feels like you're playing as Stone Cold. When you're playing with Triple H, it feels like you're playing as Triple H, Shawn Michaels, etc. Like they have Rock's signature punches. They have Rock the way he sold. They have the way a lot of the wrestlers sold. Like there's times when I'll get punched by another character. And you know how when The Rock got punched back when he wrestled, he would do that over exaggerated kind of like stepping away almost like he was about to fall, but he would hold himself up, but he would just kind of stammer away from that, like that punch really did something to him, like it knocked him off his feet a little bit. They have that animation in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. That animation is nowhere to be found in WWE 2K. When you get hip tossed, when somebody hip toss you and you fall on the mat, it literally looks like the way The Rock would land when he got flipped up in the air and dropped. And I was just noticing all of these little details for a game that was made on the PlayStation 2. It's crazy. It is crazy. Like, season mode is a blast. There's no voiceovers until this SmackDown versus Raw. But even without the voiceovers, Superstar mode is a blast. Backstage cutscenes, you get to walk around backstage, you get to leave the arena, you get to go to all of these different areas, and you can choose to fight certain matches if you want to. Like, if somebody wants to put you in a number one contending title match, you don't have to. There's some weeks where I didn't even wrestle. They just showed a cutscene for that Raw or for that SmackDown. So it's not like I just did match after match after match. And then sometimes I did backstage brawls and all that type of stuff. And then the thing that I really enjoyed, because look, y'all, this is my first time playing this, so this is why I sound like this. Like, I was doing a hardcore match. It was at a pay-per-view. They had my tag team partner was Kane, and we fought. Who did we fight? I think we fought Chris Benoit and Matt Hardy, I think was the team. And we took it outside. Like, it was a hardcore match. We took it first when you leave the ramp area where the arena is, like where the ring and everything is. Then you're in the lobby. And then from the lobby, you just get to go to all of these different areas. And we took it outside of the arena. And it was just like, wow, they have all of this in a PlayStation 2 game. And even though I haven't fully played Here Comes the Pain, because remember, I only played and I believe when I played Here Comes the Pain, it was at a store. When they have the game where you can play a little bit, it was at a store. So I really didn't even get to play it. They just had it hooked up back in the day when they still kind of do that now, but like back in the day when they used to always put like whatever new game out and you get to play it and kind of try it out. It was one of those situations, but I can see without playing without really fully diving into Here Comes the Pain, I understand why so many people love that game so much. I understand why that's on the top of like so many people's list, because there's 3 games. Actually, you can kind of say there's 4 games that people constantly talk about when they talk about wrestling games. It's SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, and WCW versus NWO Revenge. And I get why all 4 of those games are constantly talked about. Now, just in me saying what I just said, isn't it kind of sad that we haven't got a wrestling game that can compare to those games? Just think about that for a second. This is old hardware we're dealing with. This is PlayStation 2. We're at PlayStation 5. We're at Xbox Series X. And we have yet to have something come close to these games that were made over a decade ago. Like, that's crazy to me, because back in this time period, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people my age will agree, technology just kept getting better and better. It's like the older we got, the better things got, right? Like if you go back and look at the first NBA 2K, you see, look at the graphics, the very first NBA 2K, or even the very first NBA Live game. And then over the years, just kind of gradually watch as the stuff gets better and better and better and better and better. When you look at the very old wrestling games, look at how there was a natural progression. You got to do a little bit more. You got to do a little bit more the following year. Then you got to do a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more. And then you have No Mercy. And then you have SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. And now you fast forward to now. We still get lazy, not well thought out WWE 2K games every year. But we buy it because we love wrestling. Whether you love wrestling now, whether you love wrestling back in the day, whether you love wrestling in the Attitude Era, look, we buy wrestling games for the same reason. People like me buy 2K so we can download the classic wrestlers and use those people. Let's be real. That's why we play it. Anybody that grew up in the era that I grew up in, y'all saw my universe mode. Y'all buy the game for the same reason. Because the creation suite is the best thing about 2K. Is the best thing about 2K. Now, I'm not trying to spend this video and just kind of crap on 2K and AEW Fight Forever, but I really wanted to talk with everybody about this because I tried giving AEW Fight Forever another chance because I really was having fun with the game. All of my videos that I made are from the heart. Like, it's real. It's how I feel in the moment. It's how I'm feeling during that time period. And I was really, really, really enjoying AEW Fight Forever because of just the solid gameplay. I was like, this is awesome. And at the time when I was putting up Universe Mode videos, I was really, really, really enjoying them. But I was like, man, I can't. I'm not having fun anymore. I was having fun at a time, but I'm not having fun anymore. Because the devs that make these games don't seem like they're having fun. To be honest with you, it doesn't really seem like they're having fun. When you play Smackdown Shut Your Mouth or Here Comes the Pain, you kind of get a sense that these dudes had fun making this. They was like, yo, let's throw this in there, this in there, this in there, this in there. What I'm trying to understand, right? Because I'm not a game developer, so it's like it's hard for me to rack my brain around it. Why do we have better technology, but we have less? To me, that makes no sense because you would honestly think with everything that Smackdown Shut Your Mouth has in it, you kind of think to yourself, how was it possible? How is it possible? Because we got a game in 2K where they make it seem like they can't do anything. We haven't had special guest referee in ages. We haven't had special guest referee in ages. like why? Why is Universe Mode still so dull? Why don't we have a single player campaign mode where we can pick our favorite wrestler and go through a storyline that branches into other storylines and that gives us different options? I'm just asking the question. And look, I know my voice is getting loud, but I'm not mad. I'm just impassioned right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. Because if anything, I'm happy as hell. I'm having a ball playing these games right now. The only time that I have used my PlayStation 5 in a while now has been to watch Blu-rays and 4Ks. That's it. That's it. Because I'm done with RoboCop. I beat RoboCop. I beat Spider-Man. I just been watching Blu-rays. I'm passionate about this because I love wrestling. Y'all see the figures behind you. Y'all see the majority of the figure videos I put up. How I talk about wrestling. That's why you guys are here. We all love wrestling. You subscribe because you love wrestling. Let's be honest. You subscribe because you love wrestling. And I've always loved wrestling, and I have always loved wrestling video games. They have always been my favorite. I mean, I'm serious, man. If you could look back at my childhood and look at the games that I played the most, it would be NBA 2K, Madden, and wrestling games. Even though I played pretty much everything growing up. Don't get me wrong. I played your Sonic the Hedgehogs, your Marios, and all of that stuff. I played everything. Just like I do today. Anything that calls out to me, I play it. Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, loved it. God of War, loved it. But wrestling is where it's at for me. And that's why I always buy 2K. Because wrestling is where it's at. I know 2K is going to be a letdown every year. I know it is. but I still do it. Now, I will say right here, I'm making this statement now. I'm not doing it again. I'm done. I'm like 2K I'm just done with 2K. Anything with 2K at the name, I'm done with them. Starting today, I'm done with them. Because I can't wrap my brain around how these guys at this company can't make a game as fun as these old school games used to be. I think that's crazy. I think if anything, we should be blown away. It shouldn't be a situation of, oh yeah, this year's 2K is okay. Like younger kids, I get it. Like the younger people growing up, this is what they kind of had all this time. They kind of came into the middle of things and they didn't really get a chance to play these older games. They didn't get a chance to do that. So for the younger kids, I'm happy that you happy. I'm happy that you're happy. But for people like me, we're trying to figure out why universe mode still has so many limitations. We're trying to figure out why a company takes away promos instead of just making promos better. We're trying to figure out, instead of just taking away promos completely, how about you just add in promo segments? Bring the wrestlers to do some type of voiceover. Better yet, bring back a season mode. People at 2K, bring back a season mode. The wrestlers come in to do voiceover. Man, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give you a break because wrestlers are busy, especially in WWE. They don't have to do it. They don't have to do the voiceover. But can you please just kind of have us like read? I'll read the subtitles. I'll read the captions. But just give me something where if I want to go through a season mode with CM Punk or Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes or Roman or Jey Uso or whoever, I should be allowed to do that. I want to go through a season mode with Bayley, Jade or whoever. Allow me to do that. Cause this is fun. Smackdown Shut Your Mouth is fun. Smackdown versus Raw is fun. The season mode in that is fun. That's where the voiceover started. Smackdown versus Raw 2006, fun. Smackdown versus Raw 2007, probably one of the best. Especially with the Smackdown versus Raw series. And then you fast forward to now, to present day, and I play these wrestling games and I'm just like, this is crazy. We got a lazy company, right, with 2K. And then we got AEW Fight Forever where we're asked to keep paying for the game to hopefully make it be on the level of a Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain, or Shut Your Mouth, or a No Mercy. We're having to pay for it to get to that. And mind you, hopefully get to that. There's no guarantee because they have still yet to put in anything that fans have been asking for. Fans have been asking for more match types. We still don't have them. We have a game mode called Beat the Elite. I'm not paying for that. I understand paying for wrestlers. I'm not paying for that. We had to pay. If you bought the DLC, you had to pay for an arena. That couldn't even be a free update. So AEW Fight Forever is a game where they're going to continue to ask customers to drop money so we can make the game where it should have been at release. I think that's crazy because back then, how expensive were games back then for the PS2? In that era, was like $50? Because it went from like, I'm not going way back, but it went from like games were 50 and then 60 and now they're 75. So for $50, we got everything in this game. We got everything. But now you got today, what's going on now, and you got to pay for it to get to that level. That's crazy to me. That's like buying a sandwich at any kind of place, like a burger, and they throw the meat on there And then you got to pay for the bun, you got to pay for the lettuce, you got to pay for the tomatoes, you got to pay for the pickles, you got to pay for all these different stuff until you get the burger that you thought you was buying in the first place. I think that's insane. When back then, these are already 2 well done sandwiches for just one price. Just one price. And that's why I'm making this video. That's why I'm making this video, man. Again, I'm not pissed. I'm not mad at all. I'm really not. But I'm just, these are my thoughts. I'm just kind of shocked, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm stunned. I'm surprised. This feels brand new to me. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now with this. It's like Christmas Day when I started playing this game. I mean, my mind was blown, so I know when I play Here Comes the Pain, my head is going to explode. Like, crazy. Because now I can see why everybody loves that game so much. Because I used to think, every time people would say, Here Comes the Pain, right? And I knew Smackdown Here Comes the Pain had some cool stuff in it, don't get me wrong. But because I was a Nintendo 64 owner, every time people would say Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, I'm over here screaming No Mercy. And don't get it twisted, y'all, everybody likes No Mercy in WrestleMania 2000. Like, everybody still talks about those games too. Like I mentioned, I want to say like the top 2 wrestling games, if you really want to be like real about it, the top 2 most talked about games are No Mercy and Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. But every time people talked about Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, I was like, man, it's No Mercy for me. Or even WrestleMania 2000. It's WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, WCW versus NWO Revenge. But man, after playing this, I get it. 1000% I get it. I would love to see 2K just add the detail in there that 2K, that company, is used to doing. Take-Two Interactive. I want to. They do it in NBA 2K. They do it in NBA 2K. Why can't they do it for the WWE series? I would love to see what the outside of the arena would look like, being in the street and seeing people across the street too, mind you. When you fight outside and like No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain, you can literally see people across the street at like other stores and outside of stores. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal, man. Like, I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball, man. Just going back and playing these games. Like, look, if you're like me, right? Because that's who this video is made for. I know not everybody's gonna like this video. There's gonna be a lot of people that may not agree with this video. But if you're like me and you still have your old consoles, yo, these games are gonna be found at your local exchange, any kind of exchange you got where they sell old games, or eBay. Right? I got this off eBay for $10. I got this on eBay for $10. I got this for like $15. I actually didn't have to pay a lot for this. Oh, actually, you know what? I got this in the record exchange. This wasn't from eBay. I got this one on record at my record exchange. But that's all I got to say. I've talked long enough. I'm about to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, man. I'm not trying to rant. This really is me just being excited about what I've been playing, right? Because these 2 games in particular, I missed out on. I missed out on these 2. I started playing these games. I played the first Smackdown, played Smackdown Know Your Role. I played everything from Smackdown vs. Raw 2006 and beyond. Because it was all PlayStation since, after that. It was all PlayStation. So... and Xbox started to get the games anyway too. So, but yeah, man. Let me know what you feel in the comment sections, man. If you understand where I'm going, how I feel in this video, and why, like, just I get it. I get why these games are talked about, man. It's specifically this and Here Comes the Pain. I get it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I love you guys, man. Appreciate you as always. This your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.